Hi, my name is Karla, and unfortunately, due to this whole COVID situation, we're unable to do our wellness scene getaway this year, at least for now. So until that moment comes, we are trying to create these videos for you so that you can watch them at the comfort of your own home. My workshop was supposed to be about superfoods and nutrition and how the gut to brain connection actually works and how you can boost your immune system by using the right ingredients. So when it comes to food, we have macronutrients, which are our fats, proteins, and carbs, and we have our micronutrients, where we have a ton of different vitamins, minerals, and some superfoods that we're going to talk about later. When it comes to the macronutrient groups, the proteins, the fats, and the carbs are pretty obvious. Mostly everybody knows what we're talking about. We're talking about fish, we're talking about meat, eggs, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and other sources of ingredients that you will always cook with. Well, when it comes to micronutrients, not a lot of you know that the vitamin and mineral density actually changes from vegetable or fruit to another vegetable or fruit. Same done with lean meat, fish, eggs, and so on. So when we're talking about superfoods, we're actually talking about either of these two big groups, but superfoods have a little bit of a different definition. What makes something a superfood? So a superfood is a food that has a ton of different nutrients in a very small quantity. Meaning, a blueberry, just packed with antioxidants, is pretty small, right? But it packs more antioxidants than a lot of different foods. So those foods are very important in our nutrition today because not only are they replenishing our complete organism, they're feeding our healthy gut bacteria that is in turn fighting the bad bacteria, and it's actually helping our whole system regenerate and function much better. So when it comes to superfoods you can use in your everyday life, there are tons of them that you probably already have in your pantry or in your refrigerator. Of course, most fruits and vegetables are superfoods, but some are probably better than others. So berries, for one. Berries are full of antioxidants. They're pretty low in sugar and they have tons of fiber. So they're amazing in your everyday life, whether you want to use them in your breakfast, you maybe want to put them all over your salads, or just use them for dessert. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, all of them, they're really amazing. But what you need to pay attention to is the season. So only buy them when they're in season and always wash them thoroughly because you never know what type of pesticides might have been sprayed on them. When it comes to other vegetables and fruits that you might have in your fridge or your pantry, let's talk about sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are full of fiber and they're incredibly rich in vitamin E, in vitamin A, and also in potassium. If you are a person that struggles with digestive issues, having a little bit more of sweet potato in your diet will help you optimize your digestive tract and help everything flow a little bit easier. Another ingredient that you might have at home are avocados. Avocados are really abundant in healthy fats. They are completely healthy fats, so they're monosaturated fats. There's no trans fat in them. And if you use them combined with any protein, you'll actually increase your protein consumption, which is pretty neat, right? You can use them on avocado toast, you can use them in bowls, in tacos, whatever you want to do with them. Avocados are great for anything, even in chocolate mousse. They're also packed with vitamin E, vitamin B, and potassium as well. When it comes to beans and legumes, they can also be considered superfoods because none of the other foods have as much fiber as they do. So vegetarians and vegans, not only do they get a lot of protein from them, but they also get a ton of fiber. So also, if you're struggling with the digestive tract, maybe try adding a bit more beans and legumes. But when it comes to those superfoods that we're very used to hearing, like the ones that you don't know if you pronounce them maca or matcha, well, let's break that down. So basically, there is matcha and maca, and they're completely two different things, but they're both superfoods. Matcha is a green tea powder that comes from Japan, and it's packed with antioxidants and chlorophyll, and that's why you have those beautiful green matcha lattes, whereas maca is a root vegetable that is also usually turned into a powder, and it's mostly used in Latin America and South America, and it's amazing for your hormones. It really balances out your hormones, men and women. Why they're so important and why they're called superfoods? Because even a little bit of it, even half a teaspoon, can bring you so much nutrients, and it can completely stimulate every system and every cell in your body. So you don't need to use a whole pack of it, you just need to use half a teaspoon. And then, of course, we have medicinal mushrooms. When we're talking about medicinal mushrooms, they are the ones that you're maybe used to hearing: reishi, chaga, lion's mane, maitake, shiitake, and so on. These are mushrooms that are adaptogens, which means they make your body react to stress in a much better way, so you don't spike your blood sugar up and your cortisol doesn't go up like crazy. They're also packed with antioxidants, so they help you fight free radicals and help you repair any damage that they might have done to your system. And then they're also amazing in cancer fighting. So there's a ton of research that's been done where medicinal mushrooms have been used in helping increase chemotherapy treatment, which is amazing. So when it comes to using these medicinal mushrooms, you can always make them in a broth, you can make a tea. There are a ton of different products now with coffee, with hot chocolate, or you can even sprinkle them and make them when you're making your own desserts. By themselves, they can taste a little bit earthy, so you do need to pay attention to that. All other superfoods that you might be encountering and seeing in your supermarket or seeing online are all packed with certain nutrients. So when you discover a certain superfood and you wonder, oh wow, why is this called a superfood and how can I include it in my diet? Do a little bit of research before you include it, because certain foods may not be as great as people think they are. But just because they're named a superfood or labeled as such in an article or somebody posted online doesn't mean it's true. And it mostly works with detox teas and detox coffees. You might have seen there's been a trend in the recent years where a lot of Instagram influencers and celebrities were posting detox teas and detox coffees into their feeds. And they were talking about how amazing they are at losing weight, and they'll help you lower your cortisol response and your stress levels. Well, the thing is, the herbal ingredients of those teas and coffees usually aren't even bad. But what they do to you is they detox your body in such a way that you lose a ton of water and electrolytes with it. Which means that yes, you will be losing weight, but you will mostly be losing water weight, which you will have to replenish anyways in order to not be dehydrated. That is why those detox teas and detox coffees cannot be considered super foods or super ingredients, because they're actually meant to just help you de-bloat from a certain situation, but they're actually not bringing any nutrients in. So just stay away from that and be a little bit wary when it comes to just taking everything by the way it is. Everything just needs to be taken with a grain of salt. That's how it is in real life, and that's how it is with nutrition as well. Your biggest concern when it comes to your own nutrition and your own gut and healing your own gut is to feed your gut with those ingredients and those foods that actually help your gut. That's why everybody's body is completely different. Some might thrive off of red peppers and some might not even stand the smell of them. That doesn't mean red peppers are good or bad. It means that for some organisms, red peppers are great, and for some organisms, red peppers are really bad and harmful. Why is that the thing? Usually because of the difference in their gut flora. So the bacteria that the person who loves bell peppers has certain the bacteria that they have is actually amazing because it can extract all the vitamins, minerals, and all the other nutrients from the bell pepper, while the other person can't do that. So what is good for you at the end of the day is what matters the most. So I'll definitely encourage you to test it on yourself. Do a little bit of an elimination diet and try to see for a couple of weeks if you have any issues. Try to eliminate certain things from your diet and then try to see if bringing them back in after you've completely eliminated them brings back the same issues that you used to have. If that's the thing, then usually means that you're missing a certain digestive enzyme or a certain gut bacteria, also known as a probiotic, that will help you digest that food and take out all the nutrients your body needs to thrive. So when it comes to creating your perfect plate, it definitely depends on you, depends on your age, depends on your culture, depends on your traditions. It depends on your activity levels. It depends on absolutely everything in your life. So before you go and just copy somebody else's diet, it doesn't mean that it'll necessarily work for you. So I definitely encourage you to play with your own food and see what works for you. I do think that adding superfoods into your diet on the daily helps you fight all possible infections and helps you optimize your system in the best possible way. And why is that? Just because the abundance of nutrients that superfoods have is incredible in comparison to normal, let's say, non-superfoods that we're used to eating on the regular. And the biggest reason for it is, unfortunately, the fact that our soil is completely depleted from vitamins and minerals because of the huge demand, because of all the pesticides and all the other ingredients and fertilizers that are being used and genetically actually modified in order to survive and in order to not catch any plant disease that is going to kill it for that year and kill the crop. So because there's a lot of chemicals that are being used for your foods to be able to arrive at the farmer's market or your grocery store, it means that the actual food result in the end has less minerals and vitamins inside. So yeah, I encourage you to really, really plan out your meals, play with different vegetables and fruits, play with different sources of protein and fats, and just see for yourself how you feel after each meal. Thank you for being with me, and I really hope I get to see you soon after this whole craziness is done.